Genesis 11. Now we just read in Genesis 10, verse 5. It said, "From these the coastland peoples of the Gentiles were separated into their lands, everyone according to his language, according to their families, into their nations. And these were the sons of Japheth." However, chapter 11 is going to go back to when they basically came out of the ark. Now you can imagine it's Noah and his sons and their wives, and they all speak one language. So this is why Genesis 11 starts like this. It says, "Now the whole earth had one language and one speech. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there." So now he's talking about a people group or a particular group of people. And who were these people? Well, we know it was the sons of Ham, which he begat Nimrod, remember? And Nimrod was, we mentioned those cities that he was building, and he was in the land of Shinar. So basically it's alluding to that group of people, but they were still speaking one language. Then they said to one another, "Come, let us make bricks and bake them thoroughly." They had brick for stone, and they had asphalt for mortar. And they said, "Come, let us build ourselves a city and a tower whose top is in the heavens. Let us make a name for ourselves, lest we be scattered abroad over the face of the whole earth." Now remember why God brought the flood. He brought the flood because there was an interaction between the sons of God with the daughters of men, and giants were born to them. But we understand that this man Nimrod has no regard for the Lord. So why is he building this tower? And by the way, this tower is called a ziggurat. And you can look at pictures on the internet and see how these were built. But basically they were towers that went up. I don't think there was anything inside. I don't think it was living quarters. I think it was just stairways up with, I think, an altar or a resting place for, let's call it, the gods. Obviously false gods on the top. And I don't know what else they did there, if they did sacrifices or anything. But then, remember, they've just come through a flood too. So why are they trying to build a tower to heaven? So was there fear that God wouldn't keep his word? What was happening here? We can speculate, but let's go on. Verse 5. "But the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the sons of men had built." Now, what does this mean? Is the Lord like coming down to see? Or is there something more in the scripture? So let's look at God is omnipresent, he's all over, he knows exactly what's going on. When it says God came down, maybe it's a picture of they building this massive tower that's going to reach up to heaven. And God has to almost stoop down, kneel down, come very close to see what is this minute, small little thing that they're building that they think is so big. So God has to come down to look at it. And it could be an illusion like that. So it could be like a funny thing, a mockery that God is making by putting this verse in. Verse 6. "And the Lord said, Indeed, the people are one, and they all have one language, and this is what they begin to do. Now nothing that they propose to do will be withheld from them, or will be impossible for them. Come, let us go down there and confuse their language, that they may not understand one another's speech." And this is God's mercy. So the Lord scattered them abroad from there over the face of all the earth, and they ceased building the city. Therefore its name is called Babel, because there the Lord confused the language of all the earth, and from there the Lord scattered them abroad over the face of all the earth. So now we see this is like a little explanation of how we came to the sons and the sons having sons and where they all went to. This is the genealogy of Shem. Shem was 100 years old and begot Arphaxad 2 years after the flood. Now you're like, didn't we just read the genealogy of Shem in Genesis 10? Yes. But now God is getting specific in times of dates so that you can track the dates and the timelines of when these things happen. When do you think the Tower of Babel was built? It was about 100, maybe 150 years after the flood. Was Noah, who had experienced the flood with his children, and were his children and their wives still alive? We know Noah lived another 350 years, so the answer is yes. So look at what he's got to look at, how quickly the people became evil again. And he begat Araphax. Shem lived 500 years and begat sons and daughters. Araphax lived 35 years and begot Salah. And he begat Salah. Araphax lived 400 years and 3 years and begat his sons and daughters. So we're also getting to Abram and his genealogy, his father Nahor. And so we're getting that lineage coming through here. Salah lived 30 years and begot Eber. After he begat Eber, Salah lived 403 years and begot sons and daughters. Eber lived 34 years and begot Peleg. After he begot Peleg, Eber lived 430 years and begot sons and daughters. Peleg lived 30 years and begot Reu. And we know in the days of Peleg the earth is divided. After he begot Reu, Peleg lived 209 years and begot sons and daughters. Reu lived 32 years and begot Serug. After he begat Serug, Reu lived 207 years and begat sons and daughters. What are we noticing here? The years are getting less. Sarah lived 30 years and begat Nahor. After he begat Nahor, Sarah lived 200 years and begat sons and daughters. Nahor lived 29 years and begat Terah. So now we get the father of Abram. And he begot Terah. Noah lived 109 years and begot sons and daughters. Now Terah lived 70 years and begot Abram, Noah, and Haran. And this is the genealogy of Terah. Terah begot Abram, Noah, and Haram. Haram begot Lot. So we can see that Lot is the nephew of Abram. And Haram died before his father Terah in his native land in Ur of the Chaldees. Then Abram and Noah took wives. The name of Abram's wife was Sarah, and the name of Noah's wife Milcah, and the daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah, and the father of Ishkah. But Sarah was barren, and she had no children. And Terah took his son Abram and his grandson Lot, and the son of Haram, that's his brother, his son that died, and his daughter-in-law Sarah, his son's wife Abram, and they went out with them from Ur of the Chaldeans to go to the land of Canaan. And they came to Haram and dwelt there. So the days of Terah were 205 years, and Terah died in Haran. That's Abram's dad. So this is interesting. The first time I've seen this. So they leave Ur of the Chaldeans to go down to the land of Canaan, and we know Canaan was the one that was cursed. Why would, I suppose Abram's dad maybe wasn't a believer, because he went down to Canaan. So yeah, we'll pick up from there going forward.